just after midnight, in a quiet Denver suburb. The Harris family's sturdy two-story home rested in complete stillness, save for the steady tick of a hallway clock and the soft hum of a furnace pushing warm air through old vents until their 3-year-old German Shepherd, Max, snapped awake as if struck by an invisible jolt. Normally, the family's loyal companion slept soundly at the foot of 13-year-old Emma's bed. But this night, something unseen stirred his instincts. He lifted his head, nostrils flaring at a faint, metallic tang laced with a sulfuric bite that pricked a warning deep in his mind. Max stood, ears high and tail stiff, pacing a tight circle before loosing a deep, mournful howl that vibrated through the darkened hallway. Emma stirred, half dreaming, and whispered, "Max, what's wrong, boy?" expecting him to settle. Instead, the howl rose again, long, sharp, urgent enough to rattle picture frames on the wall. In the master bedroom down the hall, Mark and Carla Harris bolted upright. Max was usually a quiet protector, barking only when a delivery truck arrived, never howling like a lone wolf at the moon. Mark grabbed his robe and stumbled into the hall, finding Max standing rigid, amber eyes fixed toward the kitchen, his chest heaving as he let out another bone-deep call. "Max, easy," Mark said. But the dog darted toward the stairs, nails clicking like drum beats on the hardwood. Emma followed, heart pounding. At the base of the stairs, Max paused at a floor vent, nose pressed tight, inhaling with short, frantic bursts before pawing at the wood with scraping claws. Carla, now wide awake, joined them, her eyes wide with confusion. "Maybe he smells a mouse," she suggested weakly. But a low hiss of sinister escaped from beneath the floorboards, and in that instant a faint rotten egg odor drifted upward. Mark's stomach tightened. Natural gas. Everyone outside now, he barked, adrenaline flooding his veins. Carla grabbed Emma's hand as Max herded them toward the front door, nudging their legs with insistent urgency. The cold night air bit their cheeks as they stepped onto the porch under a canopy of stars. But Max didn't relax. He stood guard, eyes flicking back to the house as if challenging an unseen enemy. Mark dialed 911 with shaking fingers. The dispatcher's calm but clipped voice sent a chill down his spine. "Do not re-enter the house. The fire department is on its way." Minutes stretched like hours until the distant wail of sirens grew into a piercing chorus. Red and blue lights splashed across neighboring homes as a full engine crew arrived, their heavy boots thudding across the lawn. The captain quickly deployed a gas detector near the kitchen vent and its meter screamed an alarm. "You were seconds from a serious explosion," he told Mark grimly. "One spark from the furnace or even a light switch could have leveled this place." Firefighters cut the main gas line and began ventilating the house, their flashlights slicing through the dark as Max stood close to Emma, muscles tense but gaze steady, every inch the sentinel. When the danger passed, the captain crouched to scratch behind Max's ears and said, with quiet admiration, "This dog saved your family tonight." Only then did Max finally lower his head and let out a soft huff, as though satisfied the threat was gone by dawn. Utility workers had traced the source, a corroded supply pipe beneath the kitchen floorboards, hidden for decades until a tiny crack released an invisible cloud of natural gas. Inspectors later confirmed that by morning, the accumulation would have reached a critical level. One flick of a light switch or the furnace igniting could have triggered a blast strong enough to flatten the entire block. The Harris family, shaken but safe, huddled on the curb as the early sun lit their home. Realizing just how close disaster had come, news traveled fast. That evening, Denver's local stations led with the headline, "German Shepherd Howls at Midnight, Revealing Deadly Gas Leak." Camera crews filmed Max sitting calmly beside Emma, a picture of quiet heroism. As reporters recounted the incredible story of the dog who sensed danger no machine had yet detected, neighbors stopped by with treats and toys, each retelling the night's events with wide-eyed. "He's more than a pet," Carla said, voice trembling as she stroked Max's thick fur. "He's our guardian angel." Experts explained that dogs possess an extraordinary sense of smell, up to 10,000 times more sensitive than humans, of detecting minute traces of chemicals like methane or mercury, the very compounds added to natural gas to warn of leaks. But instinct alone wasn't what made Max special. It was his refusal to be ignored. Where another dog might have whimpered or hidden, Max became a living alarm, risking the wrath of sleeping humans to make sure his family escaped. In the days that followed, Mark scheduled a full inspection of the neighborhood's aging gas lines while Emma began volunteering at the local animal shelter, eager to share Max's story with families considering adoption. "If you're thinking about rescuing a dog," she told a news crew with a proud smile, "remember, one might rescue you right back." Max, oblivious to the media buzz, returned to his nightly routine of curling at Emma's feet. But every so often he'd lift his head at the slightest creak or scent, ears tuned to dangers no one else could sense. For the Harrises, that gentle vigilance was now the heartbeat of their home, a constant reminder that sometimes the most advanced safety device is a loyal friend with a powerful nose and an even stronger will to protect. So if Max's midnight heroics inspire you, share this story, schedule that home safety check, and never underestimate the life-saving instincts of the animals who love Uzbi, because the hero who saves your family might already be sleeping at the foot of your bed.